Oh, what is it? Let go.
Oh, there you go.
Nice, go on now. Get 3 in a bed.
Beautiful.
3 in a bed. Sailor's delight. Can't be bad. I'll do it again. Go on.
All right. Billy. Oh, I wish people wouldn't rustle pages.
Oh, leave him be. At least he's occupied.
They've got a new lady in the library, Arena. She wears earrings.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Oh, nothing. Oh, they're going out. They all wear chokers now.
She's Annie Pocock's niece.
Oh, she doesn't look like a Pocock.
Look, a fella can't concentrate.
Oh, well, go and find yourself a reading.
Oh.
Pococks are all long in the chin.
What are you reading, any road?
Poem.
By gum, we must have had a whiff of spring.
Oh, I expect they're about the war. Are they, Albert? The poems of Robert W. Service.
Oh, no, there's not much chance of that. Hey, is your mother coming through?
Later on, yeah.
Oh, only I wanted to ask her about Paris, you see. I know she went there that time.
Well, that's nicely if I were you. She's feeling a bit fragile after her trip.
Oh, she's been on a journey?
Yeah. Derby. See how Joan?
Oh, Derby, yeah. Well, I'll wait for her then.
Ta.
Take me to another one?
No, thanks, no. No, I'm on duty. Well, in a way. I've got to go and see a mother, one of the kids.
Hey, it's a bit much making you work at night.
No, it's my own idea, on my own head, be it.
Trouble?
Could be. I won't know till I get there, I suppose.
That must be why you're nervous.
Nervous?
I could tell by the way you were tapping your glass.
Oh. You know, when I was younger, I often used to go out on a limb, and I never felt a single qualm.
Well, it's your position, isn't it? You care about making a fool of yourself.
Oh, what's all this then?
Well, I suddenly realised if I go and pour half a dozen pints of bitter down a certain gentleman's throat, I might get some business out of it.
Oh, Alan, I've just tripped to the butcher's for some chops.
What to do tomorrow?
Well, you could have told me at dinner.
Well, I didn't know at dinner, love. He's just telephoned me. I've been working on one of his vans all morning.
Well, you could have asked him round here. I could have done the entertaining bits.
Well, it'd be a bit boring for you. He's a wholesale confectioner. He's very fat.
Well, what's in it for you?
Well, I told you, I've been working on one of his vans. I hope to get a contract for the whole fleet.
You taking him to the Midland or something?
No, we're going up to Cheshire to his local. I think it's called the Bull. I'm sorry, love, I have to do this, but I have to get my business out. I'm on my own.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody helps you when you're on your own, you know. You have to graft to stay one pace ahead of the competition.
Yeah. Well,
What are you going to do?
seeing as you're going to make such a pig of yourself, I might eat your dinner.
And then what?
Well, you might look fine and dandy right now, but...
And I've just given you a pullover with a hole in the sleeve.
Yeah, but did you guess? I might stay in and do some darning. You know, it's funny to see you all dressed up.
Do you like it?
Yeah, very nice. Just one thing.
What?
Where's the tie that I bought you?
Oh, this one just came to hand. You know, it's in the wardrobe upstairs.
Well, I'll go and get it. It's been in that drawer for umpteen months. It's time you wore it.
So I brag of bear and beaver while the batteries are a-roaring, and the fellows on the firing steps are blazing at the foe. And I yarn of fur and feather while the marmites are a-soaring, and they listen to my stories.
There's more patience than I've got, Albert Tatler.
Oh, Ena, I was just nodding off.
Well, that's nice, isn't it?
Well, it's like being on a train.
It's just all that tumpity-tumpity-tup. Is that all he knows how to do?
No, well, there's a lot of variety in this book, you know.
Such as?
Well, there's My Bayonet, Song of the Sandbag. Now, that's very good, that is. And then there's Bill the Bomber.
Oh, I don't fancy any of those.
Thought you were going to sleep.
Now, this is my favourite.
Well, if we've got to listen to war poems, my favourite's a milk stout.
Well, I must say it's a pleasure to come in. I do so love an orderly house.
Anytime, Ma, anytime.
No, love, I'm grateful, I really am.
Are you cleaned up now, Mrs. Walker?
Quite refreshed, thank you, dear.
Did Billy tell you I wanted a word?
No.
Paris.
Paris?
Yeah, me and Stan's going there tomorrow on an adventure trip. Not of long endurance, of course, but then it's like with fancy cakes, isn't it? You wouldn't want too much of a good thing.
Well, I was just there for a weekend myself, but I must say it wasn't adequate.
Oh, I know, but you see, Stan's indispensable at the yard. A day's all he can take. And that's all we'd want, really, because, I mean, you come back all Frenchified, didn't you? And we wouldn't want to be that.
Well, you're going to be that anyway. I mean, that common market's going through.
That's quite right, fortunately. You know, on my trip, I mixed directly with the French. I dined with a French film star, you may recall. And in my own little way, I feel I was playing a part in the coming scene.
He's from Mallorca.
Have you been?
Yeah, in a jet. It was a 707.
What, on holiday?
You've been twice. I've got this leather bottle. You drink water from it.
You want to bring it to school sometime?
Sorry, Mr. Barlow. I didn't expect you quite so soon. Terry, turn that telly off.
I was watching.
Well, he won't run away. Go on, upstairs with you.
It's early.
Just for a bit. You'd think he didn't have a room of his own.
It's the smallest, though.
Please, sit down.
Thank you.
Cigarette?
No, thank you. Mrs. Bates, I believe you went to see Mr. Perkins.
That's right, I did. Nobody calls my Terry. He's as good as gold, that kid. He's good with me. He's marvellous with Doreen.
I wasn't criticising his behaviour.
What were you doing then? Getting at him. Making him feel small. Making him feel different from
Mrs. Bates, I'm afraid he already is different. Look, I know you're proud of him for all the help he gives you, but he pays the penalty for it. I mean, it's mixing with the other kids as well as school, you know, before and after. It's not just books. Terry's a bright lad. He could do very well.
You don't have to tell me that.
You say you're proud of him. I'm just saying you could be prouder still.
I want him to do
Then
well.
we both want the same
don't
thing,
think
we?
I don't want that.
Then we both want the same thing, don't we? Believe me, I'm not knocking Terry.
Who were you knocking? Me?
Maybe. I don't know. That's why I've come.
Well, you're honest, if now tells.
It's your prerogative to throw me out.
It's not my nature to throw fellas out.
Fine.
That torch strong enough for you?
All right, I've finished now. You can switch on.
Oh. I'm sorry it's such a middin.
Oh, that's all right. I was up to my eyes in it myself when you knocked, like.
Yeah. Thanks, Jerry. I'm sorry I panicked a bit. When
Oh, that's no trouble.
Yeah, it's fine. Did I do something daft?
Hey, were you running the heater off here as well?
Well, you see, Alan was out and I didn't see the sense of lighting
well,
the
that's it, you see, running the iron and the heater off here. It's only a 5-amp socket you've got.
Now, you see, if his lordship had been in here, he would have known that.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jerry. I didn't fancy spending the night in the dark.
Oh, it's no bother. I expect Mr. Howell will be back soon, will he?
Ah, well, it could be, you see. Don't really know. He's out tatting for work. One-track mind these days. Well, work's concerned.
Well, I can understand that.
Yeah, strangely enough, so can I.
Well, I'm a bit out that way myself, especially since I've been on my own, like, you know.
You slugged your guts out for marriage.
You what, like a flipping slave. Mind you, the rich he spent, you had. Anyhow, that's it's all water under the bridge now, isn't it?
Jerry, would you marry again?
Well, if I met the right... Yes, I think I would. I mean, I wouldn't think it was doomed her out just because of the past. I think that, well, people learn from it. I think, in fact, that I'd try even the more.
Yeah, well, that's you, isn't it?
Well, no, it'd make sense to try more, wouldn't it? I think that most men would.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I think. I think so, too.
Aye. Right, well, I'd best be off then. I'll see you, Mrs. Howard.
Yeah, cheerio. Thanks a lot, Jerry.
Find it?
Yes, thank you. It's a nice flat.
I still feel a bit cramped at times.
Yes, but not much point in keeping the house on.
Well, there would have been if a suitable tenant had presented himself. None suitable enough. Like a drink?
Am I going to need a drink?
How do you mean?
Laura, when you telephoned me and asked me to come and see you, I presume it's because something's gone wrong.
About the loan?
Can we get it over with, please?
Well, I haven't changed my mind, if that's what you're thinking.
Well, I've been thinking all kinds of things.
Then don't. There's nothing to worry about.
The loan is going through.
Exactly as we said.
You look relieved.
Oh, Laura, you don't know.
You haven't changed.
What does that mean?
The way you get yourself into a state. Relax. Sit down.
Thank you.
There is something I want to discuss with you.
Well, I imagine so.
I know. Later, when you're feeling more at home.
Well, about Terry's bedtime, you're right. I'll do my best. I'll chase him up. Then I know his dad'll come and spoil him, no matter what I say.
Well, how often is he here?
Lucky if we see him once a month. A boy does need a father, Mr. Barlow.
Yes.
Away on motorways, you see. Not just common labouring, thank you.
You mean it pays?
Well, Terry feels the benefit. I mean, that's why I work. It's tricky goodness knows. I mean, I'm pushed to manage everything.
But surely, Mr. Bates, that's the point. You don't manage. At least only by enlisting Terry. And what I'm saying is that's not fair to him.
Darling wants you.
Oh, for goodness sake, Terry.
She's yammering.
Well, give her orange juice. There's a good lad.
She wants you, though.
Tell her I'm coming up. Mr. Barlow's going in a few minutes.
All right.
Kids. They never stop. Still, I don't need to tell you that, do I?
Hardly.
It's different with your own.
Yeah.
Thought you were a family man. You've got that look about you.
Well, I'll leave you to your daughter.
I don't expect your wife goes out to work.
She did, as a matter of fact. So I appreciate that it does cause difficulties.
There's a woman down the street just had a breakdown. Why? 'Cause she never goes out at the house. Well, I wouldn't want that to happen to me. I mean, where would Terry be then? We're close, you know. More like friends, really. That's why I went to see that Ed, because his feelings had been hurt. I asked too much. He's willing, you see, so you don't think...
But will you, Mrs. Bates, from now on?
I will. Promise. She's only 33. The woman down the street. They've carted her away and she's got 3 kids. So her husband's got to cope now. Poor soul. Makes you count your blessings.
I don't believe it.
It's true. A Belgian sailor. God knows where she picked him up.
Well, I must say, I've never thought of her as being anybody's port in a storm.
You never did have much time for Joyce. She didn't fancy you, that's why.
Oh, come on.
Oh, it's true. She hurt your vanity.
Me?
Look at you.
It's my one decent suit.
It's a very good cut. I like the tie, too.
Yes, a present.
From your wife?
Yes.
The thing is, I had a letter from Mark. It came this morning and, well, I flapped a bit.
Oh?
It upset me, so I rang. Well, I rang because he's your son, too, and I'm not prepared to ignore that fact.
Laura, there's never been any question that I'm not going to neglect.
Yes. Do you realize you haven't seen him for over a year?
Yes, I do. But the last time I saw him wasn't a very auspicious occasion. Well, he behaved very badly, if you want to know.
Towards you?
Towards my wife. I thought he might come to us for Christmas, but things didn't work out the way I planned them.
Well, I think perhaps you should have done.
What was in the letter?
A whole jumble of things. Mainly, he's unhappy. He's thinking of giving up his course. He's talking about going abroad. I don't think he wants to, really. It's more a sort of cry for help.
He's getting a bit old for that sort of thing, isn't he?
Are you too old? I know I'm not.
No.
He didn't say it outright. It wasn't hard to read between the lines.
Well, may I see the letter?
Well, I don't think that would be a very good idea. Some of the things he said were pretty harsh.
Against me?
Does that surprise you?
Laura, let's get the facts straight. Mark telephoned me at Christmas time, asked if he could come to us because you were going away. You'd let him down.
I don't want to squabble about
But
it.
you're blaming me, Laura.
Well, at least I've kept in touch.
But I explained about that. It's not uncomplicated, you know.
Don't you mind at all? Don't you mind you've got a son you hardly know?
Yes, I mind. I mind very much.
But casualties happen.
Yes, they do in broken marriages. I can't spend the rest of my life feeling guilty about it.
Well, we are guilty, you know.
All right, Laura, I didn't come here to dredge up the past.
I'm not asking you to. I asked you because I was worried about Mark. If you wanted to disown your own son, all well and good.
Oh, you make everything so black and white,
no,
don't
Alan,
you?
you're
now
doing
look,
that.
Laura. I'm prepared to talk about it.
Came in a bit hard there on Jodie Dock.
Well, I do.
All right.
Aren't you watching?
Missed the best bit because of him.
Well, it won't hurt to have early night. Don't forget to switch lights on.
Something on the other side in a bit.
I told that teacher you'd have early nights.
What do you reckon to him?
One of your soft Nellies underneath. I was surprised.
Yeah, he's all right. Better than Polly Perkins any day.
I must say I expected something worse. I've seen worse specimens, I can tell you.
You mean you fancied him?
Hey, less of your lip. Doreen's going down to the club with me, so we might get yakking.
I know. Tomorrow morning you'll be sleeping in.
I'll be at work on time, same as usual. Don't forget to switch telly off.
I'll do Doreen's breakfast, shall I?
I'll be down.
You won't know, will you?
You're a good lad.
Well, that country be on tonight, ma'am.
He's billed. Should be.
Tell us about him, won't you, ma'am? Or what he does.
When don't I tell you? Now, I'm off.
Been going for 10 minutes.
Oh, Terry, for cornflakes tomorrow morning. Be sure to warm our Doreen's milk, won't you? Her tooth's been bothering her again.
Right.
So, are you feeling pleased with yourself?
Oh, I think I got somewhere, yes.
It's not easy to get through to people if you're a teacher like the one in charge.
That's true. You know, just before I left, I felt she'd dropped the front, the defence mechanism. And for a minute there, I felt like talking. It would have been fatal, though.
I thought you had been talking.
About the boy? No, I meant about myself. So it's probably just the mood I'm in. I'm feeling a bit susceptible at the moment.
They were talking in the shop. It's a year since Val died, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Excuse me, Kenneth, do you think I could have a word? It's about some common sayings. In French, of course.
Yes, what would you like?
Well,
what's she going to see him for? I know more French than he does any day.
No, keep the party clean.
I'll belt up you too.
It's not us, it's your spouse, Stan.
Still, you can lose her, can't you?
What?
When you get to Paris, loose her up for a
Yeah,
bit.
go and do a bit of sightseeing. Ooh la la.
Listen, I don't want to talk about it.
Funny fella. Tell me, what's bothering you, Stan?
No.
Happy, are you?
Yeah.
I don't want you starting up again.
Now look, that were a long time since.
And we'd had enough. They're morbid, if you ask me. They're nasty poems about nasty things. And what is more, they are not suitable for ladies.
Look, you could give this book to a child.
And he'd throw it in the midden.
Everything all right? What does it sound like? May I say, poetry in the snug. I think it's a charming idea.
Right, well, I notice you were well down at the back end at Bar.
Well, I do have my obligations, Mr. Sharples.
Being taken care of.
But of course, I've always had an ear for verse.
Well, stop and listen.
Oh, Ina, not again.
Well, why not? He makes his supper. Why not her? She'll be swanking about her poems in the snug.
Come now, Mrs. Sharples. I'm sure it's delightful.
Albert, read.
Do you want me to?
Of course.
All right.
Delightful.
It's called My Son. But I must warn you, it's very sad. Because, you see, he's been killed.
Yes, we'll just read it, Mr. Tatler.
Yeah. Son, by Robert W. Service. Son. He hurried away, young heart of joy, under our Devon sky, and I watched him go, my beautiful boy, and a weary woman was I. For my hair is grey, and his was gold. He'd the best of his life to live, and I loved him so. And I'm old, and he's all I had to give.
Well, do please, go on.
Oh, yes, he was proud and swift and gay, but oh, how my eyes were dim. With the sun in his heart he went away, but he took the sun with him. For look how the leaves are falling now, and the winter won't be long. Oh boy, my boy.
Here, use a handkerchief.
Oh, I knew it. Women.
Thank you, Mr. Tatler. Thank you very much. Billy?
How's my favourite mother?
Well, I'm so glad you're here, love, because you're such a help.
So I should be.
No, love, there's no reason why you should stay on, not now the garage is sold.
I've got nothing better to do.
Oh, well, love. Why don't you work here properly, you know? Why don't you let me pay you for the work you do?
Oh, no, Mum.
I'd feel much happier if you would.
Yeah, so I wouldn't go swanning off again.
No, I didn't mean that, love. I mean, it wouldn't tie you here at all.
Just for the time being, eh?
For the time being, until you know what you're going to do.
All right, Mrs. Walker. Why not? I've been wondering.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't have another, thanks. I must go soon.
You've been wondering?
Oh, just that psychiatrists say that it's when kiddies are 2 and 3 years of age that this kind of situation can make or break.
Well, in that case, Mark should be as right as rain.
No, I don't think the head shrinkers are right. I think even at Mark's age. Well, I think he must have seen it coming.
Us splitting up?
He must have. He did take it rather hard.
Didn't you?
We were talking about Mark.
I know.
I will see him, Laura.
And your wife?
What about her?
Well, if she resented it before...
No, I didn't say that, Laura.
Well, not in so many words.
All right, insofar that it doesn't hurt my wife, I'll see him.
On that condition?
On that condition.
Fine.
One does make conditions, you know, Laura. Especially if you're bargaining.
I don't see this as a bargain.
You've lent me some money.
I told you, Alan, no strings.
No, you didn't, Laura. You never said that.
Well, I'm telling you now, it clearly worries you.
Yes, it does worry me.
No strings. I can't remember. Did you have a coat?
No.
Hide the suit?
It's not cold outside, you know.
I know you, Alan.
I must be going.
Home?
Yes. Thank you for the evening, Laura.
Pleasure.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean? The exit door, you know, like for emergency.
Stanley, you can't get off when he's going.
No, I know that.
It's a very safe form of transport, the aeroplane, Stan.
Yeah, as long as the wings don't come.
Yeah, and if they do, we'll be over the channel.
Yeah, and Stan's lucky there. He's got his own built-in lifebelt.
You can't hold a proper conversation, can you?
Ah, Stan, look, if there's any consolation to you, the first time I flew, I had collywobble something chronic.
I didn't say I was scared.
Well, you know, they give you sweets, you know.
What for?
Well, for your tummy, like.
No, it's to stop your eardrums caving in.
Well, I've had trouble with my ears.
Oh, Stan, what haven't you had trouble with?
No, that's not what the sweets are for. They're to stop you thinking about the impending doom.
Oh, lay off, will you?
Oh, no, do. It's no fun, you know, when you have flight fear.
Ah, does Hilda know?
right.
Of course she doesn't. It's her treat, isn't it?
Well, I'll say ta-ra then, or rather, au revoir. Big day tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. Mind you, if you're only going for one day, you'll probably be in tomorrow night as usual.
Oh, well, hardly as usual, Mrs. Walker. I mean, I don't suppose there'll be many in hot foot from Paris.
Thought you were flying.
You know what I mean. Well, I'll take my leave then.
Goodbye, Mrs. Ogden.
Au revoir.
By heck, they'll be full of it tomorrow night.
Yes, package tours have a lot to answer for.
Oh, come on, Stan. We gotta get us heads down. I don't want you nodding off.
What, not even on the aeroplane?
No, that's half the fun. Looking down at all them little houses miles below, and the fields like pocket handkerchiefs.
Miles below.
Yeah, well, they are.
Look, all right, come on if we're going.
I don't know what you're grinning at, Elsie Tanner.
Oh, the name is Howard.
I'm sure you've got nothing to grin about.
No.
No, it doesn't flatter you neither. Come on, Stanley.
Goodbye.
Ta-ra, Stan.
Come on.
Stan.
What, you save your sympathy. There's more deserving cases than Stanley Ogden, I can tell you.
There won't be tomorrow. It's D-Day for Stan.